Hey guys, this is a market update. A really important pattern is playing out for Bitcoin right now, technically, and before a very key date, August 10th. You must keep this in your calendars. August 10th is the next CPI figure. This is going to be pivotal to where Bitcoin and the rest of crypto goes towards the tail end of this year. A technical pattern is playing out, which I'm going to discuss in this video for Bitcoin right now, and it is coiling up, ready to potentially explode when this figure comes out. Now, depending on what the figure is, it's going to be either up or down, and I'm going to explain that in this video. Here we're going to look technically at Bitcoin. We're trading at 23,000 right now, and what you can see on the chart is, for me, just support and resistance levels. So obviously we have a resistance level up here at around 24,000 that is playing out very nicely. Now what you can see is the 20-period moving average here in yellow is acting as support. We broke through this quite decisively around a few weeks back, and we've actually been trending upwards on this 20-period moving average. This indicates a short-term uptrend, and the chart is playing out right now. Now we've had two areas where the chart has met resistance, which is fairly normal and healthy when you're looking at a genuine kind of change in price. Now, what is playing out here for me is a ascending triangle. So I'm just going to draw this on the chart right here, and I tweeted this out today as well, but we can look at this resistance up here as the kind of resistance for the triangle, and then we're looking obviously at the Bitcoin price moving up towards this. So what we're going to be getting very soon is a breakout of this pattern. Now this just happens to be, as you can see, around August 9th. Now, why is that important? Because the inflation figure comes on August 10th. This is so important because if inflation starts coming down, which the market is suggesting right now because of this upward trend, then what you will see is a breakout of this pattern, potentially very bullishly up to the next resistance level around 28,000. Will it get there in one candle? No, I don't think so. But please put this in your calendars to watch. This pattern is playing out perfectly for the 9th and 10th when that that figure comes out. So what I expect to see is probably some consolidation around these levels until that date next week. The entire market is looking for that date on August 10th to see where it goes. If inflation has actually peaked and we get a much lower figure than is expected, expect the market to rally because it's going to expect that rates are going to come down. And remember, that signals potentially the start of slowing and a recession, which isn't great for stocks. But Bitcoin trades off rates way more. And so I would expect Bitcoin to rally because of that. Now, if inflation comes in hotter than expected and is high, expect Armageddon, to be honest, because it just means that we're now going into a stagflationary environment with high inflation and low growth, which is just awful in all respects. So expect to test those lows down at 18, 19,000. So this pattern is playing out right now, and it will explode out of this ascending triangle pattern around August 9th or 10th. I'll leave the link to Bybit in the description. If you are new on the platform, they'll give you a deposit bonus. Just deposit crypto or fiat. They'll give you up to $4,000 as a deposit bonus in your futures trading account. So if you trade futures anyway, that's a good bonus. I'll leave that link in the description. What I'm looking at here as well, though, is the difference between a rising wedge and an ascending triangle. I do think that this pattern right here is an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern. The other way to read this is potentially as a rising wedge, but I think this is potentially chart crime right here. I don't think that that plays out. I honestly do think that this is an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern. You can see the difference here is that an ascending triangle has a very clear resistance line at the top, and that is a bullish pattern where you sometimes, more often get a bullish breakout rather than a rising wedge where the resistance line is actually sloped upwards. This is a bearish signal when you often get a bearish downside there. This for me is a bullish signal, but please be aware, this is obviously heavily reliant on what that CPI figure is. So good or bad either way. So, you're kind of betting on that figure right now. But some other things that I'm looking at to kind of look at, is inflation actually coming down? I've seen, we've gone through it so many times in market updates, commodity prices are coming down, and so inflation will start coming down. Now, whether that's as fast as the Fed wants, we don't know, but a lot of people are betting, you can see that here, a lot of people are betting on that figure to actually be coming down. So we can agree or disagree with that as we like. But what we can see here, Raoul Pal's really focused on oil. Oil is like the last thing to fall. He thinks it's potentially going to 60-ish. Let's have a look at the chart right here. You can see that we are actually testing support for oil. This is the last one to fall because, you know, copper, cotton, lumber, most other commodities have all fallen off a cliff. That's good for inflation. Obviously, there's other, feed-throughs to the economy in general not being great, but that doesn't affect Bitcoin as much as rates coming down because of the recession. So what you can see here with oil is it looks to be potentially breaking down. No, it's having a set of lower highs, and the lows look like they're about to be taken out. So again, if that falls off, you're going to be looking at markets rallying, saying that inflation is going to be coming down, and then we'll look at rates as well. As you can see on rates, these have also come off their highs and are now treating previous support as resistance. So again, 2.75 on the US 10-year, looking to meet resistance here. Even if it doesn't go down, even if it just stays as it is, it's a more reliable market for Bitcoin as well. But obviously, if inflation starts coming down a lot, and we've had terrible jobs figures, the recession looks like it's in full swing, and yeah, not amazing for, us as working in this economy. But when we're looking at Bitcoin, what you're seeing is as rates come down, as inflation comes down, Bitcoin is going to react to that. So that's how this trade is playing out. Please don't trade on what I say. Please do your own research on that. But that is what I'm looking at. If you do want to get a $4,000 deposit bonus, I'll leave the link to Bybit in the description there. I'm James with Money Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.